Okay, this is my first impression of the Pelvic Clock. So I just came back from an hour-long session in the driving range. And I haven't golfed in or I haven't swung a golf club in a couple of years now. So I am a little tight, but I was able to get through the whole session, go from like wedges to drivers pretty okay. So I just want to do like a little, you know, I already did this morning, but I want to loosen up my my SI joint again. I feel a little tight. So here's how it goes. Now we just got this like yesterday, and this is supposed to fit right in your sacrum. So basically right here. So what they show you to do is lay flat on your back. Take some deep breaths so you can relax a little bit. And if you are dealing with like SI joint problems, hip problems, and stuff like that, it is really important to do that. It's just to try to get your body to relax a little bit. Okay, so from here, then you just lift your hips up and put this right underneath where your sacrum is. And then since I am already dealing with anterior pelvic tilt, where your pelvis is jutting forward, dipping forward, you want to do some exercises where you have the hips now facing posteriorly. And then what I like to do, and I've been experimenting with this in the past 2 days, is just put my hips in this posterior position, and then from here just do some like heel taps. Heel taps, keeping my core tight, and then trying to just be conscious of my hips so that they push towards the posterior position, towards the 12 o'clock position. So 12 o'clock, 6 o'clock, right? And it is a little challenging because obviously if I'm already chronically dealing with anterior pelvic tilt, I'm not really that conscious or aware of how to move my hips back. So that's the challenge of this exercise. And just little slow motions like this, and I have to kind of readjust so I can feel like the tiny muscles that support your sacrum get a nice little stretch. So from here too, I can also tilt side to side. But for me, I found that I want to be really careful with this. Like if I feel like if I do it too much, it's too much for me to handle. So for right now, I'm sticking to this motion here, where I go anterior pelvic tilt and then posterior pelvic tilt, and then just sort of breathe through these motions. So for me right now, on the second day in, I'm not doing side to side too much. I feel like it's too intense for me, even though it kind of feels good. I prefer this movement right here. So I'm gonna keep doing this for probably a good, like maybe 30 reps. That's what I did this morning. And then I felt really good and limber after. That's my first impression of the pelvic clock. I feel really good. Nothing's tight and I get up very easily. Whereas before, if I did too much side to side stuff, and I got back up, things felt too flexible, moving too much. So I don't know, it's an experiment. So that's the second day, and I'm gonna check back in like a couple days. Hi there. This will be my review after, I would say, 2 weeks of using this pretty consistently, dealing with anterior pelvic tilt issues, chronic anterior pelvic tilt issues. So we're on day, I think like a week and a half from the time that I first tried it, which was a solid week of trying it. So I've just done a workout, and it focused primarily on glutes, hip thrusts, like a lot of rehab stuff, right? So what I want to do is a sort of maintenance with my hips and my sacroiliac joint, my sacrum, which looks like this right here, is to just do a little maintenance. I'm not actually in pain. I do feel a hint of tightness. What this has been able to do is
really stretch those finer muscles. I forget what it's called. I'll throw it up here if I find it. But they line the sacrum like this. And those have become so tight for me. I've had living a sedentary lifestyle, driving a lot before when I was younger, sitting in a chair. Those have become so tight that they've become off balance, and there's too much movement going on in my SI joint. And little things, normal things would take me out, like I couldn't walk. So now that I've been using this, coupled with lacrosse balls, foam rollers, Theragun, strength training, yoga, all the things, this has actually been a great addition to my rehab journey. So I was like, really, what's this gonna do? So we tried it, kind of steep on the price, about 80 bucks on Amazon. But hey, if it works, like, is there really a price? Okay, so I'm gonna just show you how to do this, how I like to do it. And some things to remember, okay? If you feel pain, like, don't do that movement, right? If you have this and you're like trying to do the tilt side to side, like what I experienced in the first video, don't do it. You know what I'm saying? So I just did this. Maybe you just need to get a little bit stronger, right? Maybe it's just too much right for now. So when I first did it, the back and forth movement of my SI joint was okay. That felt good. This felt a little too much, like when I went forward. But I kind of was trying to push through the pain and kind of just like see where I could go with it. This felt good, but when I was done, felt really bad. And then I would have to do this again, back and forth, up and down, 12-6, to kind of reset it, okay? Nothing to get scared about, I think. It's just your body's not used to the movement. It's never done that before because maybe you're like me and you've been sitting down forever. Okay, so I just did this 9 to 3 yesterday. Didn't hurt, felt good. Felt good when I was doing it, felt good after, so that was a change. So let's go ahead and do this again for just a little bit of maintenance. I like to get propped up just a smidge because I have like a 1-inch yoga mat. It gives me a little bit more movement when I do the exercise. So back first. Nice deep breath. Lift the hips. Find your sacrum. And then just breathe through the movements on it. See right here, this feels very tight, but again, like feels very good. And before, maybe about a week and a half ago, that would feel bad after, like, I did something. And now that I've been doing it, and 6, 12, 6, 12, 6, 12, 3, 9, 3, 9. And I'll just do this for a good, maybe 5 minutes or so. Or how about, I feel like you can do this for as long as you like. But anything too long or too short, I think will not be good. So kind of find a good medium for yourself, and everybody's different. That's what's kind of annoying. Okay, so we're doing that. And it was hard to do this, like, because I was like, am I supposed to roll my head on the floor or am I supposed to roll my upper back? So I feel like rolling your upper back and tucking the chin is good. And since I have been dealing with anterior pelvic tilt, I like to focus on the 12 o'clock, 6 o'clock movement. But this does feel really good. Like, this, because my left hip is very tight. I also have uneven hips, so that could be why, right? Okay, and then again, 12, 6, 12, 6. And before, this felt very tight, even a little uncomfortable, and I felt scared. But if you breathe through the movements and just take your time with it and be gentle with yourself, I think it's a really good stretch. That if you've been sitting down for a long time, you might need to do this. Okay, cool. So it feels pretty good. I still feel some tightness, so if I do feel that, just get a lacrosse ball, put that in there. Because I just did finish a workout, so I would imagine that the glutes are tight because I did do some single leg deadlifts. And when you find little irks with your body, don't freak out. Like just go, oh, okay, so why is it doing that? Let's see if I can trace the line back and figure out what are the imbalances or the muscles that may be associated with that pain, and then try to address it, roll it out. Lacrosse ball, Theragun, whatever, hot shower. So that's my review. Please leave your comments and questions about it. There was very little on it for me to look up, so hopefully I can be of help to you if you're considering this. Okay, see ya, bye.